Wow, the lighting in my room is actually pretty nice this time of day. I should stop recording at midnight. When I was first exploring my identity, I thought I was bisexual. I thought, well, I'm female-oriented in terms of gender, but surely I still like men. I was wrong. You see, there's this thing called compulsory heterosexuality. It is the phenomenon in which a queer person will feel attracted to the opposite gender, even though it doesn't quite match up with their sexuality. Symptoms of this are attractions dissolving when they are reciprocated, little to no interest in non-fictional people, etc. There was also another underlying tone in my compulsory heterosexuality phase. I wanted to remain straight. You know, it wasn't my choice to be this way. I didn't want to be a dork in the American South with no friends. I wanted to be a cheerleader. I wanted to be a ballet dancer. I wanted to be one of the good ones. Hi, I'm Shroomi, and I'm not one of the good ones. Welcome to the Shroomi Show. So I recently started a book called Right-Wing Woman by Andrea Dworkin. Side note, Dworkin is mainly known for her extreme sex-negative views. I'm not finishing this book because of how much she talks about it. I want to make clear that I do not agree with those views. When I am 18, I will be a sex enjoyer. In this book, she details her theories on how women become conservatives, acting in their own disinterest as anti-feminists. I found her logic applies to not only women, but any marginalized group. For example, she speaks of a misplaced aggression, an aggression placed not on their oppressors, but any perceived threat their oppressors point at. My family's feeding the dogs right now. I really hope you can't hear it. Maybe I should have waited till midnight. Women cling to irrational hatreds, focused particularly on the unfamiliar, so that they will not murder their fathers, husbands, sons, brothers, lovers, the men with whom they are intimate, those who do hurt them and cause them grief. Depressing, huh? The oppressed in this scenario chooses to ignore their oppression and focus on oppressing. And this can be seen in a number of ways. For example, Dworkin, a lesbian, speaks of her discussions with right-wing women about lesbians. And the sentiments shared about lesbians seem to mirror very closely the sentiments shared today about trans women. Right-wing women consistently spoke to me about lesbians as if lesbians were rapists, certified committers of sexual assaults against women and girls. Now, when we apply this to the notion of being one of the good ones, we have to do some theorizing ourselves. When you have that moment when you realize you're queer, it is a light bulb moment that changes your life forever. Suddenly, all the fantasies you've had as a little kid were bogus the whole time. Suddenly, you have to worry about your safety and your right to marry. Suddenly, you're part of the other. I've been a part of the other my whole life. It started off when I was just a little autistic kid. Remember that study I showed you in public school? Yeah. Then I had my awakening, and suddenly I had words. I had words that described. There are two sides to being a new queer. The first is your new community. You find fellowship with others based on whether you like titty or not. You date. You experience life in a new way. But on the other side, there is nothing but shame. Being queer is shameful. It has been taught to us since we are children that being part of the other is something to be shamed and ostracized for. If you are religious, that brings a whole other kind of shame, a whole other kind of fear. Doubt in your God, doubt in your sexuality, the fear of going to hell. It looms over you, especially in Catholicism, where guilt is such an important part of anything and everything. This shame results in a lot of things. For me, it resulted in compulsory heterosexuality. For others, it comes in praying in the vehement declaration that you are one of the good ones. For some, the shame lasts years, decades. The shame is hard to live with. I'm lucky enough that I never quite learned social hierarchy, so I never quite knew to be shameful. As I've mentioned, the shame can last your whole life. And that's where we get people like Blair White. For those of you who don't know, Blair White is a conservative trans YouTuber. Think Nick is Not Green, but so transphobic. Shroomi, you ask? How can one be transphobic and trans? And if you're still asking that question, you have a lot more work to do before you come into my part of the leftist maze. So go click off and watch some ContraPoints. Blair White has lied about stories for views, sent people to hate on trans people. Basically any petty drama a YouTuber can be in, she's been in. She declares herself as your problematic fave. Sorry, Blair, you're not my fave. My fave has only been canceled that one time. Blair White has worked directly with conservative politicians on discussions about anti-trans rights. She claims, she shouts from the top of rooftops, she cries, "I'm one of the good ones." Another example is conservative politician Dave Rubin. Rubin is a gay man and conservative politician. Again, one can be gay and conservative. Friend of Ben Shapiro, supporter of Ron DeSantis, he too shouts, "I'm one of the good ones." Oftentimes very directly, such as in this clip that I stole directly from ContraPoints.
Usually, I just take out a picture of me and DeSantis, and then we're good, because they get it, that's my governor.
Take a shot every time I mention ContraPoints. Actually don't, most of my audience is underage. I'm straight now. Well, not really. I'm still a lesbian, but my gender presentation is much more mask-oriented than it was when I was that 12-year-old struggling to figure out if they were bisexual or lesbian. Not quite a butch, certainly something, but I have successfully dissolved most of my biases that prevent me from doing anything too gay. Because, can you ever really be too gay? And if you answered yes, check yourself. Are you still holding out hope that you are going to be one of the good ones? Because you shouldn't. To conservatives, all of us are on equal footing. It doesn't matter how well you pass. Doesn't matter how straight your relationship looks, how heterosexual adjacent your dynamic. They hate all of us. Stop focusing on trying to appeal to them. It's not going to work, and you will find you are a lot happier when you stop trying to appeal to straight white men. And that was the Shroomi Show for today. Thank you for watching. Psst! Hey, you. I'm not monetized yet, so if you could go down to my throne, link in the description, and buy something off my wish list or tip me some cash, I would really appreciate it. My family is kind of tight on money right now, and I can't work a job because I'm disabled, so thank you. Please do that. If you can't, send this video to a couple friends or something, or like the video or subscribe. Anything to get me closer to monetization. Thank you. Have a nice day.